Hello and welcome to another very special episode of Between the Studs. I am your host, Daniel.
I'm Chris.
I'm Ed.
And today we are talking not only the 250th episode of Between the Studs, but we are going to be talking about the upcoming 10-year anniversary of Atlanta Brick Co., which is going to be a very special event, which is going to be happening this November on Black Friday. Is that right? Black Friday will actually be our 10-year anniversary?
I can't remember because it was 10 years ago.
Okay.
But I think it was Wednesday, wasn't it?
I think it was a Wednesday.
The Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
The day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple days before, but definitely in that Thanksgiving Black Friday time period. But we're very excited to be celebrating our 10-year anniversary, and so today we're going to be talking about the past, present, and future of Atlanta Brick Co. over our 10-year history. So to start us out with the past, let's kind of talk about the inception of Atlanta Brick Co. This is something we've talked about before on the channel, but let's hit some of the highlights again for sure.
Well, it started with going to conventions. I was moonlighting. I was hoarding Lego. Okay.
Okay.
It started with buying it at yard sales for cheap and just hoarding it and planning on playing with it with my son. And then I was like, whoa, this is getting out of control. I've got to sell some and just kind of get rid of it. So I went to put it together to sell it on eBay, and I was like, man, this is too much fun. I'm going to keep hoarding it and not sell it. Maybe 6-7 years go by, and again, I get to the point where it's just overwhelming my storage sheds, And so I go to look up the best way to sell it and came across Brick Fair, Alabama.
Okay, yeah.
Might have been 2011. Mm-hmm. And I buy a vendor table. I go sell everything I had. All the other vendors bought my stuff. And I was like, man, you know what? It was my intention to get out of it. Because, I was taking vacation days. I was a general manager for a logistics company. Mm-hmm. And I was taking vacation day to do this. And I was like, this was so much fun. I want to do it again. Yeah. So I go and I look at where else I can get a vendor table. And the first thing that comes up is the world's largest Comic Con, which is New York Comic Con, by how many people go there.
Attendees, yeah.
San Diego's more popular, probably better, but
maybe more square footage.
More people go to the New York one. Yeah. At the time, it was 120,000 people. And so I went and got a table there. That was like my very next one. And
that's a big deal.
That happened to be the year that Lego did the New York Yoda, I Heart Yoda. And so they also did the X-Wing in Times Square.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Set 9.394, something like that.
The big, huge upscaled one, yeah.
And because they had put so much resources into that, they didn't get a table at New York Comic Con. So I was like the only Lego vendor there, and Lego wasn't even there. And so like everybody, we did fantastic. It was so good. I was just having such good experiences. So then we started doing other Comic Cons, and I did New York a couple years, but it was too much work. It was too expensive, honestly.
Now, were you operating under a name at this point? Was this Atlanta Brick in any way, shape, or form, or was this just
we were Atlanta Brick Co. Yeah,
Chris's Lego stuff?
Yeah, in fact, we've got the banner out here, the old banner that I used to have.
I remember you had an ad on Craigslist, and I'm going, Atlanta Brick Co., I wonder where that is.
In Atlanta.
Probably somewhere in Atlanta.
So at the time, it was not okay for an adult man to be in the Lego and build Lego.
Yeah, the times have changed.
It just wasn't. And then right around that year, David Beckham, the soccer player, and Brad Pitt both came out of the closet and as big Lego fans, and then I would tell people, hey, what do I have in common with David Beckham and Brad Pitt?
They get into it because of their kids. That's why Brad Pitt got into it, because of his kids.
Exactly.
And that's how I got into it. That's how you got into it. I never played with it when I was a kid.
Well, there's still lots of adults and sports players and things who come out now as being really into Lego. I remember Rod Blankenship, the kicker, was one. He's still friends with Ryan, M&R Productions. So there's lots of other people who've kind of revealed that in their social media and stuff. There was that
Terry Crews.
Yeah. There was the Olympic, was she a rugby player or something? And she went to Paris and she made this whole thing about how she wanted the Lego Eiffel Tower, and then Lego sent her the Eiffel Tower set after she got back from the Olympics.
Oh, it's totally okay now.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
It's always been okay. You don't need a movie star or a sports guy to validate your love for a product that is got immense utilitarian value for art, artistic expression, getting post-traumatic stress disorder.
But Ed, you remember there was a time where adult men would come in our store, and every time we asked, if we could help them with something, no.
They were like sunglasses and like an overcoat.
Exactly.
With the
it was like they were in an adult bookstore or something.
I don't want to say that. I didn't want to say that, but yeah, okay.
And you would ask them, can I help you look for? Just looking for my kids. Okay. Where are they? Yeah, I think they would like that.
Yeah, how old are you?
10,000 piece set Death Star you're looking at.
Yeah.
So anyhow, the next year at New York Comic Con, Ed, you take over from here.
Yeah, I went to the Comic Con. I had somebody I was buying Lego from up in New York, and I figured, well, I'm up there. Let me kill 2 birds with 1 stone. 3 birds, actually. My sister lived up there. Let me meet with this connection I have, and let me go to the Comic Con. And I walked by the booth that said Atlanta Brick Co. And of course, Mr. Captain Obvious. I don't put 2 and 2 together, but I looked at his Daleks. You had these; they're larger. We got little ones now. The Doctor Who stuff. It's
probably one of Daniel's favorite sets that we make.
I think he likes it a lot.
One.
Yeah,
it's hard to restock.
Sarcasm. And I was just impressed. I loved it. I said something to Elizabeth. And I said, I love your stuff. This is beautiful. Oh, thanks. And I was looking at his minifigs. I'm like, yep, that's what I'd sell mine for. That's what I'd sell that one for. Yep, that's probably what I'd sell that one for. So I didn't find any good deals. The only good deals I found were the keychains. People take the figures from keychains. They'll pop the top off of the keychain and they'll sell it as a minifig. And I asked one of the vendors, where do you get these from? Oh, they're made of Lego. Why do they have holes on their head? That's just the way they come. Okay. I mean, if you know, you know. Right?
Yeah.
But all of Chris's figs were authentic, 100%. Good stuff, good product. And I was impressed. I liked it. But I did not put 2 and 2 together. Little did I know, you lived a mile away from me.
Yep.
And that's when we've talked about this before. We met at a yard sale, and then it went from there, right?
Yeah. So Ed and I decided to combine forces because he was selling out of his basement, and I was selling out of my garage. And I had a Bricklink store. I was teaching Ed how to do Bricklink. He totally screwed it up.
Totally.
So bad. He did everything I told him not to do.
And I did it.
Bricklink is hard to stay organized.
But I learned a lot.
That's right.
Chris calls me up. He goes, Ed, what do you think about us opening up a warehouse, hiring kids to ship for us? Well, let me go ask my wife. Honey, what do you think? She's like, oh my gosh, selling toys? Are you serious? That's a stupid idea. All right, honey, you're right. Okay. Hey, Chris, when do you want to start?
My wife was all about it because she wanted it out of the house.
Yeah.
So it really was just going to be a warehouse where people could fill orders for us and use the bathroom without holding it, or working in Ed's unair-conditioned garage.
Well, it always stayed cool, but nobody was allowed to use the bathroom because my ex wouldn't let anybody walk upstairs to the bathroom. So that was a mess.
Safe to say things have changed a lot since then. But let's talk about the first physical location.
Hey, what's amazing is we still have one of our employees working for us. He's left a couple times and come back, and he's still working for us that worked before we opened the store in Ed's garage.
And that employee is?
Alex,
that's right.
And we got a picture of him.
Our longest standing. Yeah, here's an old picture of Alex. You can see how much he's changed over the years, too. Let's see, what year are we talking about now? Where are we at?
Gosh. Back then it was 14. Probably 2014, 13 or 14. Somewhere around there.
Well, we opened the store in 2015.
Officially.
The first physical location. Yeah, so let's talk about that. Kind of how did you secure that space? What were you looking for in a space? What was it like purchasing all of the, cases and facilities and things that you needed to fill that store?
It was U-Haul, and it's just a monthly rental. I mean, you can't beat that for
cheapest
a space
we could find
lease.
in
It was
area.
the cheapest place in the area. It happened to be around the corner from my house and Ed's house. So it was really just luck.
It was 3-bay transmission shop. 3 bays. And Chris and I were talking about it. I'm like, you know what, Chris, let's just do 2 bays. We don't want to overextend ourselves and put too much money into this in case it doesn't get off the ground really well. We probably don't need any more than that. It took them from June to November to get a firewall built, inspected, and us to get operation. A month after November, we needed that extra space. And we wanted to put a door in there. They told us, heck no.
Not after
the door in there. So we had to get out the front door, go into the next door, and It did help us a lot, but yeah, that was interesting. We exploded. We took off, and we didn't have to be on the beaten path. It's not like we're selling yogurt. I mean, this isn't an impulse buy. People went looking for us
because there wasn't anything like it in the country.
Well, not just that.
Really?
You advertised online.
Yeah.
We're setting up our fixtures in the store, and a family comes in, and they're like, "Hey, we know you guys
weren't even open yet.
Yeah, we know you guys aren't open yet, and we're still putting fixtures up and everything, but we just came by to see how things were going. We're from LA, blah blah blah. Oh, what do you do? So we work in the movie business. Oh yeah, what do you do in the movie business? Well, I'm the director and producer of The Walking Dead. That's right. Greg Nicotero and his family came into our store, first customers, and we didn't know who they were. We're just, hey, just we'll show you where we're putting everything. We're not open yet, but come on in, and that's the way it was. Great people, wonderful people, and we're still friends with these people.
How did they even hear about it? Like, what brought them into the area?
Actually, we met them at New York Comic Con. They were there on panels for The Walking Dead, and they stopped by our booth, and they were like, "Oh, Atlanta Brick Co. We live in Atlanta now. We have a house there. And what part? Noonan. Oh, we're in Noonan too."
That's
so
crazy.
that's really why we were on there.
That's how they knew then.
Yeah.
Okay,
So they came looking for it.
But really, we set up our warehouse so that people could come in and buy something. And I don't know, you've seen, I don't do anything like that halfway, so it was really good looking for a warehouse.
Oh yeah, I mean you had the glass cases and stuff.
Yeah, we had all the glass cases and everything, and we didn't expect people to come in the door. So when people actually started walking in the door, then it was a game changer for us.
Yeah.
We went from being an online seller to a storefront, which I did not want.
Right. And we couldn't
really
see
didn't
the
want
front
it.
of the store. We had a big warehouse in the back. We have 2 rooms in the front. One that was way too small. We tried it as a party room one time. So we put a mock build in there. The display case is still out there. We had your castle on it.
The big castle, yeah.
And then underneath we had a Hoth battle scene. I walked to the front. You can't see the front from where you are at the register. I walked to the front to take a look around. A little kid found his way inside the Hoth battle scene, and he was inside destroying it. I'm like, what are you doing in there? Well, I wanted to play. Get out of there.
Big Godzilla attacking the city or something. That's crazy.
So it was, the way I set up the store was, since I had been going to conventions like Brick Fair, I wanted that experience at the store. So kind of everything that you could experience and see at Brick Fair was in our store on a smaller scale. And so custom items you can't get anywhere else, older sets, pick a brick, build a figure,
Things displayed.
things displayed.
So it's like our store today is like a show, a Lego show. And
Yeah.
it's really cool. It's like I tell people it's like a museum, but you can buy everything you see.
Absolutely. Now, you already talked a little bit about the online sales craze. At this point, were we just still selling on Bricklink, or at what point did our actual website come into play?
We were just selling on Bricklink, and I think on our website we had a link to our Bricklink store, and on our Bricklink store we had a link back to our website, so that it was more for advertising, so people could see what our website was. Eventually, when we did start selling on our website, Bricklink shut that down. They said, hey, you can't have
Promote outside
a
of
link
Bricklink,
outside of, kind of like eBay does it, you know?
Right.
So, and you can't blame them.
Yeah, they don't want you circumventing their cut.
Yeah. So we started transitioning from online sales to in-store sales, and then when we hit our eventually you hit a max with how many people are actually going to come into your store. So when we hit that max, we started transitioning back to online sales, and then COVID hit, and thank goodness we were online, because that's probably the only way we made it through COVID.
It saved us.
Yeah, definitely saved us.
I hated every minute of it, but it worked out for us.
Yeah, I was the only one working. Because Ed has a real job. Ed's a physical therapist.
I'm a physical therapist, but
Yeah.
I was coming here.
Ed would come in at nights and weekends, and I would work during the day. And that's the only way we've been able to make it work.
Absolutely. Now, we already mentioned some of the Dalek custom kits as well as some of the first ones that we did. What are some other of the early days custom kits that we did?
TARDIS.
Yeah, there was an original TARDIS design.
I probably sold 500 or 600 TARDISes, and I started out by building them and selling them built.
And they had a sound brick in it.
Yeah, they had the sound brick from the
UFOs.
It's like the laser sound.
And actually, it was very much tied to that, because the windows in the front were the blue windows from the truck from Alien Conquest.
Okay. Oh, yes. Yeah,
And they were the double windows, and they only came in that set, and it's the only way I could make it minifigure scale work like that at the time. So since then we've redone it. Now that and then Lego came out with theirs. Their Daleks were not as good as our Daleks. Everybody complains about them. They fall apart.
They do. They fall apart.
Yeah, everybody has always told us our Daleks are always better. So my Daleks started out bigger. They were about
why don't we do those
6
anymore?
inches tall.
I love those. Those are my favorite.
I do want to do those again. I want to come back out with them again. They started out about this big, and I was like, how can I shrink them down to minifigure scale?
For those of you who can't see, they're about 6 inches to 7 inches tall.
Yeah. It took me 4 or 5 years, and then one day, you know how things work. One day, I think I'm just daydreaming or dreaming at night, and it's like, oh, there it is. You see the Lego build in your mind, and it's like, that's how you do it. And it's so simple.
Just like in the Lego movie,
So
you see
easy.
all the pieces flying
That's
together.
a real thing.
Yeah,
that is
absolutely.
a real thing. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so we talked about custom kits. Let's kind of talk about, obviously nowadays we stock a lot of third-party products. We carry things like Clone Customs and Big Kid Bricks. At what point did we start getting into reselling other companies' products as well?
Battle Brick was the first one.
Battle Brick?
We did.
Yeah.
Right?
So when we first opened the store, we carried custom weapons from Brick Warriors.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the one out of the Midwest that sold, which was what? He had the dual molded items.
Pop Monkey was another one we bought from. I don't even know if they're still around.
Oh yeah,
Monkey.
he was one of the early custom figure guys out of South Carolina. Yeah. So Brick Warriors was our first. We had all the Brick Warriors custom items, and people could customize their minifigure. I mean, to be able to come into a store and do that was unheard of at the time. So that went over really well. And then once we were open, Battle Brick discovered us, and they sell military sets just like Brickmania, but little different,
More affordable.
Yeah, a little more affordable. Because he's in Atlanta, and he came to the store and was like, "Yeah, let's work together." And I think we might have been his first reseller.
I think we were.
And-
I'd like to say we were.
And we're probably one of his biggest resellers now. Also, Big Kid Bricks.
Yep.
Good
was just
company.
talking with
Love
him
their
yesterday.
stuff. Great custom stuff.
Yep.
And we see him
Good-
at lots of conventions and
Good
stuff.
customer
too.
service too.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is extremely important.
Yeah. Let's talk about Lego conventions, too. Obviously, conventions were a big part of the founding of our company, both from the comic conventions. But when did we start going to Lego conventions specifically? What are all the different ones we've been to over the years?
Well, we've done, for Lego conventions specifically, we've done Brickworld Chicago since, I'm just guessing, but 2014 or 15.
Yeah.
Brick Fair 2014.
You mentioned Brick Fair, Alabama.
14, something like that. It was the first year they ever did Brick Fair, Alabama. And then we did Virginia that year, too. Now we're grandfathered in. We were grandfathered in with booth space at Brickworld Chicago, but we took a year off last year because of our grand opening in Orlando.
Yep.
And now we can't get back in.
It's tough. That's a competitive one to get into, for sure.
So Brickworld Chicago, if you're listening, let us back in.
Yeah.
We sell different stuff. So that's something else that is interesting, I think, that we can talk about.
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
that when we first started doing conventions, that first convention where I was trying to get rid of everything, I did have it displayed nice at like a booth, like a professional booth. Everything was organized and priced, and I learned a lot at that show. One thing I learned is that people only wanted minifigures. So at the next convention, all I had was minifigures on the table, and then realized it was so much work. That's all we sold was minifigures for quite a while. But once we started putting them in inventory and putting them online for sale, then I couldn't do that at a show,
Right.
Because it would just totally mess up.
It
our
was a lot of
inventory.
work. Yeah. It was a
Yeah,
lot of work.
and by then, all the other vendors were just selling minifigures by then, too. So we just didn't want to be another face in the crowd and have the same thing that everybody else has. Plus, other vendors were selling damaged minifigures for like full price.
Yeah.
And there's kind of like a stigma attached to that, to conventions, is that like they'll sell used sets, missing pieces, and then they have no sign on their booth to even say who they are, so you don't even know who you bought from. And we didn't want to be associated with that, so we started just selling our t-shirts, our merch, our keychains, anything different that we can sell that makes us stand out. So
Yeah.
like we can actually add value to a convention and not just be there to make money.
Yeah.
We're there to push our website and our store. We're asking people to, hey, come to the store.
Absolutely. Well, like you said, we have more of a reputation to uphold, especially even when we're traveling
And
Lego conventions.
There are convention prices. So
Yeah.
the sets that you buy, when you go to a convention, y'all, the sets that you see there are overpriced because it's a convention. You can buy them online from us, way cheaper, and have it sent to your house. And you have to carry around a whole convention hall. So something to think about.
Well, so we had a good convention here in Atlanta a couple years ago. It's Atlanta BrickCon, and that's always a good convention. But one of the booths sold out of all their sets. So they went to Walmart. They bought at retail price. They bought all the sets they had at Walmart that were the hot sellers, the James Bond car, all the Star Wars sets, and they brought them into the convention, and they doubled the price on them, and people were still buying them.
I don't get it, too. It just doesn't make
And
any sense.
Walmart was 2 miles down the road.
Yeah.
That's
Well, even in Brick Fair, Virginia, it's literally across the parking
And that's the
lot.
cool
You
thing
can
about
walk
our
over
store.
there.
We would never insult your intelligence and sell a set and expect you to pay more for it than you could from Lego.com.
Yeah.
If Lego.com is selling it, we're going to sell it
Yeah.
for the same price, even if we take a loss. It's not right to do that to the customer. And I think because we've done it that way for 10 years, that's why we're here still in 10 years, and that's why people keep coming back.
What's interesting is there used to be, when we first opened, there was this arbitrage between Bricklink and Amazon. We've never sold on Amazon.
No.
We're pretty against it. But the Amazon price was about twice the Bricklink price. We were pricing all of our stuff based on Bricklink because Amazon's not a real, especially at the time, wasn't a real price gauge, right?
It's kind of like eBay. People can go on there and list stuff
we
for whatever they
we
want.
go by the actually sold price on Bricklink.
Yeah.
Well, Amazon sellers were coming into our store and spending
Yeah.
$5,000 to $10,000 at a time,
Yeah.
wiping us out of our sealed sets. We loved it. I mean, that's how much
Yeah.
we were asking
It's
for
okay.
the set. And they were reselling them on Amazon. And we had regulars that came in. We were totally fine with it. However, over the years, the Bricklink average sold price has now caught up to the Amazon price. Every year, it just kept getting closer and
Climbing and
closer and,
climbing.
closer and closer. So that now it's competitive enough that there is no arbitrage to be had buying on Bricklink and selling on Amazon.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let's talk about how the people have changed over the last 10 years. We talked about a lot of early employees like Alex.
We've gotten meaner and meaner.
Well, yeah, the two of you have changed a lot. But we've also had people like Joe, who's been with us for what?
Ever.
Joe started, I think, when he was 14, which is the minimum age you can be to work with a work permit. Was part of the homeschool community in the area, so we knew him and his family. And that's kind of how we hired everybody. Alex was part of that homeschool community. We knew him. We knew his parents. I knew him since he was little. We homeschooled our kids, so those were kind of the people that we were hiring. So Joe worked here one day a week on Thursdays.
Okay.
And he really annoyed me.
Oh, I wanted to put him in a chokehold and just knock
Oh,
him
no,
out.
we were talking about things that have changed, not things that have stayed the same.
So he couldn't work on Thursdays anymore, and I was like, yeah, that's the only day we have for you. So he stopped working for a year or two, and he started dating Alex's sister, Laura. And I saw him at a basketball game that my son was playing at, Joe's brother maybe, or Joe. And he came up to me and would talk to me, and then one day asked if he could work here again. And at that time, I was very impressed by the head that was on his shoulders. And he was now 16 and a little more mature.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we'll give you a shot. And he's flourished. He's fantastic.
Yeah,
he's
he's-
made a career of this.
Integral part of this
Yeah.
business.
Absolutely.
Very important part of what we do.
But in terms of broader strokes, I mean, like you mentioned early on, a lot of what we were hiring was high school age kids and stuff just to do sorting, to do shipping, things
Yeah.
like that. Did you ever think we would get to a point where you had these like full-time career employees?
No, not at all.
These are rare, very rare, because I am still doing sorting.
Yes, there's lots of positions.
As an owner, I'm in the basement, in the armpit of this company, doing a tedious task. It's laborious,
Absolutely.
It's hard.
Sorting
and you're
is
by
tou-
yourself. in
Sorting's
there.
tough because, and when we say sorting, we're talking about all the bulk Lego that we get in, sorting out the minifigures, the animals, the non-Lego, which is huge,
Try not to get cut or poked.
and then
Thumbtacks.
things.
and then washing it.
Yeah.
So,
Work.
and then where do you put the stuff that you just sorted out? So,
Everything in this store has been sanitized. Everything used that you see on that shelf out there has been sanitized. As a healthcare professional, that's one of the things that I was adamant about when we first started. Everything's got to be washed. We're pioneers in a lot of this stuff that we do here in the store.
Yeah.
So, by the time we have hourly employee get good at sorting, they go off to college and we lose them.
Yeah.
And it's hard to justify paying somebody to sort Lego because they all do it like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, look at each piece individually.
And
put it away.
it's they don't want to make a mistake. But Ed and I, when we sort Lego, Ed and I are like,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
we're
broad
just
strokes.
flying through it.
If you're going one piece at a time, and maybe you catch a couple extra, rare pieces or
Yeah.
something, it's not worth the amount of extra time you're spending on it.
Now, when I do it, I purposefully throw in a few good pieces here and there on purpose because I want people to find good stuff. And I get yelled at by these guys like, "Look what you let go through."
so when
I'm
Chris
like, "Yeah,
pulls
leave
something
it
out
alone.
of the
Leave
table,
it there."
That's
it's a
why we started-
$20 piece.
We used to pull out a lot of rare stuff.
Yeah.
And now we don't pull out any of it.
We pared down a lot of the categories.
We've
We throw
pared
a
it
lot
down
back
so
in.
much because it's like, what are we doing with
Yeah,
it? You
right.
know? And let's give people a reason to come in and treasure
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And that's why we started doing the morning dump live stream every morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's like, look at this stuff on this table.
Yeah, I don't think
It is a gold mine.
any of our competitors have the pick-a-brick table that we have, the way we have it, with the opportunities to get things the way we present them. I'm not saying you're going to find a Bionicle Hawk-Tua thing in there, but you're going to find some good stuff.
That was bad.
I don't know what these things are called. Tokai. I wasn't ever into Bionicles, guys. I don't know.
Well, let's talk about the Orlando store opening. Now, this is not necessarily part of it is part of the Atlanta Brick Co. history. So let's talk about kind of how that came to fruition and how that whole process went as we expanded into our first secondary location.
Well, Atlanta Brick Co. owns half of Orlando Brick Co. Our business partners down there were customers of ours here. They would pass through on the way through town. And he said, "Hey, I've got a big warehouse down in Orlando. We could open a store down there." And I was like, "No, this store is enough work. The last thing I want to do is open another store."
And we would get questions like that all the time from people who wanted to open a location or ask if we were going to open one in their hometown,
Yeah, and then they open up bricks and minifigures later, and it's like, shouldn't have done that, but it is what it is. So then I was like, I'm not interested in that. And then over the course of a year, I would always think about how great Orlando would be for a Lego store.
Absolutely.
So Ryan with M&R came in, and he came into the store, and he was showing me some custom figures that he's making. He's doing a lot of custom figures now, Star Wars, the Star Wars Minecraft figures,
Got custom Chrome stuff.
the Chrome
Yeah,
stuff,
he's got
really, really cool stuff that we're selling at our store down there. And he said, I'm thinking about moving to Orlando. And I'm just, things are going off in my head. It's like, wait. You're going to be in Orlando, and somebody wants to open a store in Orlando. We can really work together and do some good here. So 2 years later, we open up Orlando Brick Co. And it is a cool store.
All the
Absolutely.
Lego Masters props are hanging on the wall.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
The Stark Expo from Iron Man 1 is hanging on the wall. The thing is huge.
Yep.
The ISS space station is right above the counter. Unless you look, it's like hidden in plain sight. You got to look and
Yeah,
be like,
a little
whoa,
bit,
what's
yeah.
that? Yeah.
You were talking about firewall issues over at the
Yes.
U-Haul before. I was going to say we've had kind of a
Yeah,
long
same thing.
history with firewall issues.
So Orlando's doing great, and we will probably need more space. In
They're already filling it up.
when our lease runs out in 3 years. So, and we have a fantastic crew down there working.
Good people, yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about some kind of local community outreach type things that we've done over the last 10 years. One that I remember from very recent history was the Putter's Point golf place that opened over here just across the street. I know we're we were excited when they had their grand opening, and we were able to sponsor one of their holes over there at the putt-putt place. So we got our name on a nice rock. But we've also done community outreach with things like local schools and sports teams and things. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, we do a lot of sponsorships, almost too many, because I guess somebody there's a lot of schools and there's a lot of sports teams around here, and everybody wants a sponsorship. So we have had to cut back as far as how much money we're just giving them, because honestly, I hate to be brutally honest, but and knock a sponsorship, but we really don't get any advertising benefit from sponsoring somebody's team.
Yeah,
we don't. I mean, we're better off spending that money on online advertising or even a magazine or something like that. It's just goodwill. So we still do the ones we've always done over the years, but we're doing a little bit more of collaborations on Instagram now with local schools.
Yes.
Where and non-local schools too, where we make a post, and if you get a certain number of likes, we donate this much bulk Lego to you. And it's
up to 100 pounds, I think.
Up to 100 pounds, which is $1,000 worth. And it's usually they get around 50 pounds, which is around $500 worth, but it's for nothing. They don't have to pay anything for it. And, schools always struggle to get Lego.
Yeah.
And they've always asked us over the years, hey, can we have Lego for free? And it's like, no. That's what we sell. That's our main product. That's how we make money.
But now you can.
But now we can, because we need the advertising. And it's a win-win for both of us.
Absolutely. So it gets more local people aware about our store. It's amazing sometimes how many local people still come in the door and they're like, we had no idea you were here.
One of the things we have sponsored for almost 8 years maybe is Chick-fil-A's Wind Shape Camp. And we started sponsoring it almost like 8 years ago maybe. Or maybe it was 6 or 7 years ago, I don't know. But it was, now I go to church at the church where they have the camp, so that's kind of a coincidental thing. But that also gave us an in with the church to be able to have that Lego Masters win party there. And it has all really worked out from sponsoring that camp. But that is Chick-fil-A's biggest wind-shaped camp in the country.
Okay.
I think they have a lot of kids that go to it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, we're also getting well known in the communities outside of where we live. I was coming home from Nashville. I stopped at a coffee place. I was going to go to Starbucks, but then there was this Dutch Brothers there, and I said, well, let me go here, And the kid taking my order, he says, so where are you coming from? I told him, convention, Lego convention. Oh, I love Lego. Oh, and he looks inside the truck and he sees that I got the Hulkbuster Iron Man sitting in the front seat. And he goes, oh, that's cool. Where are you at? I said, we're in Atlanta. We're Atlanta Brick Co. He goes, I know that place. I'm going to go down there next month. You guys are awesome. He knew who you were. He knew who I was. Didn't put two and two together until I told him who I was. And his name was Riley. I thought that was really cool. This wasn't just somebody that you meet at a convention, because people that go to conventions are Lego people usually, and they pretty much know who we are. This was outside the community in Murfreesboro on the way home from Nashville.
Tennessee, I mean, that's 4 to 5 hours.
He was about 4 or 5 hours away, and I thought that was pretty cool. The word's getting out. People are knowing us. They watch our videos. So I'm like, so people do watch the videos. Okay, that's cool. So we're getting out there.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of that notoriety, I think, has come from some videos that we've done on other major YouTube channels, things like Beyond the Brick or Connected with Ryan and things like that. I mean, that was how I became aware of the store to begin with, was probably one of those videos or watching some of our videos on YouTube.
Hey, let's talk about Daniel joining the store. That was very...
Sure.
Yeah, when did he come? 5 years ago, right?
So Daniel...
3.5...
It'll be 4.
It'll be 4 next March.
Really?
Before next March.
All right.
It was 2022.
Okay.
So we have, people who vet new applications. We get employee applications in almost every day.
Every day, yeah.
Anyone that is more than 30 minutes away is kind of a no. So Daniel was in Virginia.
10 hours away.
It was at an odd time. It was during COVID, right?
Near the tail end of it.
Yeah,
early 22.
And I remember, I think it was one of the only times I've ever done a Zoom call. Zoom calls were very popular at the time, but we just don't do them as much anymore because we don't have to. But he did a Zoom call, and the person who was vetting our applications were like, hey, this guy knows Lego and is willing to move down here. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's not going to work. But I'll talk to him and just see what he wants to do. And we did a Zoom call, and I was like, wow, this might work, but you don't know somebody. You can't know them over a phone call. You don't know somebody until you spend time with them and have you invest in us and us invest in you to the point where you're going to move down here, rent an apartment, sign a lease.
Yeah.
Was a huge leap of faith on your part and our part too, because we don't want to put you in that position where you're not going to work.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, Daniel has worked out amazing. I mean,
I appreciate that.
You're unbelievable. You're doing our commission builds. You're doing our
highly intelligent, the voice of reason.
Gosh, this wasn't meant to be a celebration.
So Daniel is not a yes man. Daniel will tell us.
He will tell you exactly
what he thinks.
Yeah.
So if I don't want to hear anything bad, I won't ask Daniel.
This is what you told me. I think when we started doing employee reviews, you said, what did you say? You said, if I'm going to do something anyway, I'm not going to ask you. But if I want a contradictory opinion, not to say I'm a cynic, but I'll always point out if there's a flaw in idea.
That's why we're asking you, and you're telling us, and we really appreciate your opinion and your feedback. You're a smart person.
But in terms of how that relates to the store's history, it was definitely a big step forward for the store to hire somebody from outside the state.
A lot of small businesses, and this is a big discussion in itself, but a lot of small businesses like ours don't hire employees because they cost money. And they don't run the store like you would run it.
Right.
And I know that, our employees that we have are fantastic.
We have a great team
really,
now.
really good. And they always have been fantastic. We've always had a good group of people. We're in a small town, and we can kind of control that a little bit better. It's a good area of the country. People say Southern hospitality, right? Mm-hmm. But, we have another local toy store that has just started hiring employees after, and they've been open for like 20 years. Mm-hmm. And when they would go on vacation, they would have to close their toy store down. Yeah. And I remember when we had to pay our first employee to come into the store, it was Alex's brother, John, who has since become a welder.
Works for your mom.
Yeah, married another employee's sister.
Great kid. Actually, him and his brother worked for me in the garage before.
Yeah, fantastic people. And it was like, oh, gosh, I'm going to pay this guy hourly money to come in and sort my Lego and play with my Lego and build Lego. It's breaking that hurdle, that
letting go of that control
hurdle, and letting go of that control and the money. Yeah. To take that leap of faith, and once you're able to do that, but also manage it properly, because we've wasted a lot of money on employees. We've had employees do things that we lose money over.
It's an inherent risk that you're going to have with any business is your full-time employees. Yeah. In some areas, that's your greatest asset and your greatest expense. Mm-hmm.
And I would say that being brutally honest here, that has stopped us from becoming monetarily rich. Yeah. Personally. Yeah. However, we are Lego rich.
Yeah. World's largest selection, right? World's largest building brick toy store.
But pretty much
all of low and slow.
All of our money over the years has been paid out to employees and Lego. Yeah. And to buying Lego. Mm-hmm. And growing and restocking. Like, this is a slow time of year, but we've got to stock up for Christmas. So we're spending like every dollar we have with a leap of faith that Christmas season is here, so that we're going to sell it. And this is, when you own a business, we're an S corporation, you take a distribution, so Atlanta Brick Co. pays Ed and I both modest salaries.
Once in a while.
But you take a distribution at the end of the year, and that's the money that you make. Well, Ed and I actually haven't taken a distribution.
No, we put it right back in. No,
and we do need to change that. Yeah. I mean, we are doing this to make. But we are a for-profit business.
We want to grow. We want to keep growing, so we throw the money right back in.
We have yet to take a distribution, and that's part of how we can do what we have done.
Yeah. This is a labor of love, if you will.
We have put every dollar we've made back into the company with the idea that we are building something for the future.
Right.
So we don't really own this business. The business owns us.
Well, and like you mentioned earlier, I mean, the two of you are never sitting around just watching the company do its own thing. The two of you are very busy every day, all the time. You know, there's no resting on laurels around here. You're hard at work in the sorting room. You're doing a lot of work over at the warehouse and stuff now. So both of you are very, very busy. You're not sitting in executive offices somewhere.
And people do think that. People think we play with Lego all day.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned how we get applications every single day, but our hiring rate is pretty low.
The first thing they say is, I like to build Lego.
We have 30 employees.
That's not a position here. That's not what we do.
We have 30 employees here in Atlanta and about 20 down in Orlando. I do paperwork all day. I move stuff.
Yes.
I move stuff from here to here, and I do paperwork all day. And it's not playing with Lego all day. But at least nobody's telling me what to do.
Yep.
There is that.
Yeah, you talk a lot about your past history in corporate America and how different this is than that.
Yeah, we do. But like I said, when I was talking about we're investing into the company and making it better, bigger and better every day, one of those things is trademarking our logo, which that
was an important step.
That was a very important step, and it costs a lot of money. I tried doing it myself at first, and the USTPO, I think it's called, the trademark office, denied it and gave me all these reasons, and I was like, all right, well, I'm smart enough to make the application. I'm not smart enough to figure out how to reply to them.
Yeah.
So then I had to hire a lawyer, and there's trademark lawyers. That's what they do. Yeah. And anyone that wants to trademark something, I highly recommend just go with a lawyer and do it.
And they know the terminology to use to be able to get the application
We've
through.
spent thousands of dollars trademarking. We have our name trademarked, we have our logo trademarked, and all of this adds value to our business.
Yeah.
We've had people use the name Atlanta Brick Co. before, and we've had to send them cease and desist.
Yeah.
We've had people copy our website, clone it, and the scammers, and people actually buy things from them.
Has anyone tried to make an edge?
All right, so we've talked kind of about the past and present of Atlanta Brick Co. Now let's talk about the future and kind of the direction that we're heading and things to look forward to in the future. Now, we've already, there's been an article published, and so we've gotten a lot of people in the store already asking about potential plans for a new location. So let's talk about that a little bit and kind of where we're headed in terms of getting a new space.
Well, it's 3-4 miles down the road.
It's very close.
I thought it was 2.5. Okay,
sure. Yeah, 2.5.
You would know better.
I think 6 or 7 kilometers if you're gonna use the.
That's 3 strikes,
system.
Chris.
4.
Is it? Did I miss one?
Yeah, you did.
I own the house right next to the property. I own a house right next to the property.
Ed owns so it's 4.5 acres. It's along the highway. It's a busy highway, right down the street from Sam's Club and Costco. Almost right down the street from us here, and then right down the street from Putter's Point, one of the coolest mini golf places around.
It was fun. It was a good mini golf.
It was awesome. And so we have to tear down the brick house that's there. It was built in 1955. Beautiful old house,
Big
but
house.
the county will not let us zone it commercial with it being there.
Yeah.
So we have to tear that down. We just abated it. We removed the asbestos, and the next step is to tear it down. Hopefully, we do that this year before Christmas. We'll plan on doing the site work. So with any luck, we'll be open in about 1.5 years there, and it will be about 3 times bigger, more space than our current store.
Fantastic.
And we have off-site warehouses now full of stuff.
Yeah.
That hopefully we'll be able to have in our new store.
Yeah.
And so, it's going to be more stuff, bigger store, more space.
When we moved from the 2,000 square feet to this store back then, I thought to myself, we're going to have so much extra shelf space. What are we going to do with all that extra space?
And now
we had
are
zero space.
Bursting at the seams.
We were we were packed like sardines, and then we spread out at this store. Now, when we go to the new one, I can predict we're not going to have any shelf space.
And I think part of that is it's just the nature of Lego. It takes up so much space.
Because every year new products are coming out. You have to find a new space for Avatar sets and One Piece sets and things that just didn't exist
everything
before.
is out on display. You know, it's not like you want to hide it in storage.
And I won't have far to go to work.
Yeah.
Right there.
You can get on your little motorbike.
That's my little scooter.
little scooter. Yeah.
So by that time, Ed's house, which is next door, nice looking house, it's going to be an Airbnb.
I was
a Lego Airbnb.
I'm going to convert that home into a Lego themed Airbnb. The proximity, of course, is the main reason why. We'll have a little walking trail to get to the store. We have yet to discuss the details of how we're going to do special events with people that stay in that place. I will have my own personal collection in a display case in there. You can have the opportunity to buy Ed's own personal stuff in there. We'll have arcade games, pinball machine.
Used razors, Q-tips.
Old deodorant sticks that I don't use anymore.
Yeah.
Toothbrushes. Ed's toothbrush. You thought the Build-A-Potty was something. Just wait.
But it's the nature of our store and our fan base that we get people who want to travel from across the country. I mean, we have a world map out here in our store as well with pins from all over the world where people have traveled from to come to our store. And so we get people all the time asking us about, I'm traveling from out of town. Do you have any good hotel recommendations or places to stay? So this will be a fantastic opportunity for people who really want to make a trip out of coming to see our store, because it is a destination.
It is.
Say that all the time.
It's kind of like, if you're a Lego fan, on your bucket list is going to be Denmark, right?
Yeah.
The Lego headquarters. But also, we usually show up on people's Lego bucket lists, and they tell us that all the time. I think every week we have somebody that comes in from pretty far away, and we're still talking to people that are maybe 2 hours from us. And it's like, I've always wanted to come to your store, but it's 2 hours. It's like,
2 hours.
kidding
For
me?
people who live on the north side of
I was
Atlanta.
just here from Japan last week, or New Zealand.
I had a family fly in from Switzerland, did a trade with us, got back on the plane and flew back. I'm like, what? Well, it's first class, but I mean, still. I'm like, really? But we are known all over the world. I think it's great. And once we get this new store built and the way we're going to have it, it's going to be a must-see. Because right now, it is a must-see. You got to come here. You see stuff that we had as a child here, brand new set. It'll bring back memories. It's an amazing place.
Yeah. Our store right now has a lot of character to it, I would say. But I think our new store is going to have a lot more wow factor and spectacle, kind of like that Orlando store, which is going to be incredible. Anything else we want to talk about? Future store plans?
No.
Okay. All right, so let's talk more about our upcoming 10-year anniversary here, as I mentioned, coming up very soon in November, around that Black Friday week. So what do we want to talk about kind of special event-wise that we're going to be doing to commemorate those 10 years?
Well, we nothing is in stone yet. However, some of the things that we are talking about will be, of course, sales. We're going to be having a lot of really good sales leading up to Black Friday. And then we are planning on doing giveaweys and potentially trivia, like live
Dinner with Daniel
stuff. Dinner with Daniel would be a good idea.
We'll also be having a special exclusive 10-year commemorative custom building kit. Which you can see here. We'll also be putting that logo on some t-shirts, and there will be all kinds of 10-year commemorative merch as well you'll be able to get your hands on. You mentioned lots of sales and things as well, but we'll have plenty of other information about events. But let us know down in the comments what kind of stuff you would like to see for our 10-year anniversary. Maybe you want us to do a Tank Battles live stream, or be able to come to the store and play Tank Battles, or be on an episode of Between the Studs or something. Let us know. Come up with some ideas for what you all would like to see for our 10-year anniversary, and let us know down below. So be sure to stay tuned for all of those announcements about the awesome 10-year anniversary events and things that are going on. But thank you all for joining us for this very special 250th episode of Between the Studs. Thank you to Chris and Ed for joining me here for this episode. And be sure to leave a like on this video. Hit that thumbs up down below. Consider subscribing to Atlanta Brick Co. TV for the next 250 episodes of Between the Studs.
If you've been watching this far, do it. If you haven't done it, do it.
What are you doing here at this point? But thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next time on Between the Studs. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.